Welcome to That's My Opinion Pod. I'm your host, Pedro Iglesias. Very, very, very grateful and happy to have Zoe from the Bravo Chronicles with us today. It's going to be a freaking amazing episode. And Zoe and I were just saying because we have been meaning to record together for a few weeks, but things happen. People have lives. Weekends are tough. You know how it goes. And then we were just saying now, like, everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to because what a week. I'm so excited. We obviously have to start with the number one spot, which is going to be going to Beverly Hills because what a premiere episode. Oh, I don't even know what else to say. Nothing could ever do it justice. So we're just going to have to really discuss that one. Then we're going to get into Salt Lake. I think it's really holding Bravo up right now. And then we'll do OC because we got part 3 of the reunion. I don't know how much there is to discuss, but I think we should round out the season that they had. I thought it was an incredible season and we can discuss it further. Then we'll get into Potomac. And then we'll end with RHONY, who they are the last spot because they don't deserve to be anywhere else on the totem pole as far as I'm concerned. All right, I'm ready to get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's fucking go.
Thank you so much for having me back. You are an incredible person. I love talking to you and I love your podcast. So thank you so much for having me back. It's like you said, we were going to do this like about 3 weeks or so ago. And then we were like, you know what? Like, we just need to let's just do a different week. And it actually worked out perfectly because as soon as I got the text like, hey, does this week work? I was like, oh my gosh, Beverly Hills premiere? Of course. Like, who else would I want to like recap this with? So it worked out so well. So thank you so much for having me back.
Oh my God, of course. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate them. So Beverly Hills, where do we even start is the question.
I have not been this excited for a premiere. It like blew my expectations away. My mom and I were actually watching it together and she was like, oh my gosh, wait, this is actually gonna be so good. And I was like, I know. And she doesn't get that excited about like housewives, stuff like that. And so it exceeded my expectations and I am so excited. And can I just say, Dorit is the MVP. I right now am watching in my spare time whenever I get bored. I'm doing the reruns of Beverly Hills. I'm at Puppygate right now. And just the evolution of Dorit from then to now, it's like she's a totally different person. And I've never been like Dorit's number one fan. I've been like, oh, like she's a good housewife. But like throughout the years, it's kind of been like she's losing us. But just in this one episode, it's like she looks amazing. And you could just tell she's like, obviously Bravo was like, you need to like bring it. But she's like, oh, and she was on Watch What Happens Live too. And she killed it. So this season is going to be amazing. What did you think?
I thought it was amazing. I thought the first 15 minutes, I was so entranced.
Oh, I know.
There's also, did you notice the editing is different? Like the way they're producing the episode.
Very different. Even with Potomac, it's very different too. Like and it looks amazing.
Amazing.
As long as they keep the same theme song, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I was into the filming of it, the intro scenes. I mean, those first 15 minutes, and then we get the moment where Dorit tells Erica about her and PK separating.
I know.
I was like, I know the news. I know what's happening, but like watching it is just...
And Erica's face said it all. Erica was like, holy crap, does she know that like we're filming right now? Like,
yeah.
It was so insane. And I loved how like composed Dorit was. It wasn't like she was tearing up. It was like she was okay with it. She was very strong. And I think just with how raw she was, I think we all kind of appreciate it because last season with Kyle, and I'm going to say this, and it's like I said the first time I came on, it's so hard to come on a show and show your real life and be judged and everything. So I give these women and men so much credit. But for Dorit to just be raw with us and basically be like, hey, this is what's going on. And she's been on this show for, I don't know, I'm going to say like 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
It was pretty like just raw. And then you kind of now see like the puzzle pieces come together. I told my mom, I was like, she is such a loyal wife. Like I can imagine she's like a ride or die. It's like she said, took the bullet for so much. And it's like, now she's just like, well, I'm just going to tell whatever I need to tell. So I have amazing respect for her.
Me
And
too.
just how she handled it and the composure. I just loved it.
You know what I will say? I think a lot of her composure, and I don't know the timeline. I'm just assuming. I don't know if anyone listening does know the timeline. I feel like the time they decided to separate versus filming started, she was in the stage of anger. She was in anger stage. She probably went through sad, crying face, and then she was in anger. Like,
yeah.
Like, you think you're going to do me dirty? And what was interesting, obviously, we have her break the news to Erica. And Erica's reaction was moving and touching and shocking. And I think captivated, I think what the audience are probably feeling, where it's like, oh, but also like, you deserve better, but also I'm sad for you, but also what's happening. Like,
and
all
massive
of that.
respect. And I think that's why I love Erica too, is like for her to keep that secret and not tell Kyle or anybody, like what a friend. And that's why I just love Erica. Like she's so like loyal, ride or die. Just her reaction was just like, you just, like you said, you deserve better, but like, this is real.
Yeah, it was insane. And I also think when it comes to, well, the Erica stuff, it's interesting, obviously, to re-acknowledge, like, she's the one who made that comment. I think we all know that there are probably problems in the marriage that Dorit was keeping under wraps. And to me, that was like the most obvious when Dorit was saying, we're not telling the kids. And the kids are 10 and 8. So if the kids aren't noticing something's going on here, it's because they haven't been living in a proper marriage for a while. My personal opinion.
I agree. And I have to say this. There is no such thing as a bad parent. I'm not a parent, and so I can't judge. And I know there's some people out there that are probably saying, you should tell your kid, like, that's wrong. And then there are others that are saying, no, she's doing the right thing. I think she's doing what's best for her kids. I think what you said is so true. Of they've been living like this for a while, and the kids, obviously, this is all they know. And I think back, as soon as I heard her say that, the Halloween this year when they were Wilma and Fred, I think they were some of the Flintstones, and they took a photo together. I thought, that's weird, because if I didn't know anything, I would think that they're still together. And so for her to say, like, no, like, even on Watch What Happens Live, like, kids still do not know.
The kids still don't know.
The kids still do not know. Because I don't know. Because for me, it's like at 10 years old, especially Jagger, I would think that something would be like, if dad's working all the time, he's not there, I would kind of be like, that's weird. But maybe this is normal. We don't know.
It has to be.
It has to be.
But, and listen, I'm not going to judge Dorit's parenting in this particular instance, but like,
no.
Do you not think your kids could maybe find out you're on a massive television show, one of the most watched on Bravo? How did we not have to watch Watch It Happen Live? I missed it.
Yeah. It was a good one with Lala. That was a really good episode. But also, her kids are homeschooled. Just talking to you, I just realized this. Now they're homeschooled for a little bit. Ever since COVID, she wants to keep them homeschooled. So, but I agree with you. I think especially as Jagger and Phoenix get older, how are they going to go about that? Because co-parenting is the best. If you can figure out how to co-parent, I think, but I feel like as they get older, they're going to have to know. Something's going to have to give.
Well, they're also going to have to make a decision whether you stay together or get divorced.
Yeah. What do you think's going to happen?
Listen, okay. So we obviously get that scene of PK crying.
Yeah.
And then we find out he's an alcoholic and is now getting sober, and that the separation was his idea. That made me go, do I think Dorit is going to become, how do I say it? Get the taste of the good life. And the good life is not dealing with a husband who doesn't make you a utmost priority.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And he was in Miami with Mauricio, or he was somewhere with Mauricio. And it's like, you have, 2 small kids at home. Like, if I saw that, I'd be like, holy crap, my dad's horrible.
Yeah.
Just.
No. And also Dorit is going to be like, why the fuck do I want to get back with you? You're partying in Miami, like, when we could be working on our marriage.
I would be like, what?
Do you think they're going to get back?
No. I think, especially with PK being so close to Mauricio,
Mm-hmm.
I think Mauricio is just gonna be like, hey, like, you know, because I love Mauricio. Do not get me wrong. I love him. He's one of my favorite house husbands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Dorit deserves so much better. And I really want to see her in a loving, healthy relationship where, you know what, the PTSD, I think everybody should be able to have their own, you know, whatever their mental health is. Nobody should take that away from somebody. I
Yeah.
don't like how last season PK was so hard on her with that. Everybody has different timelines. Sometimes people take less time to get over something. Some people need more. But if that was my significant other, I'd be like, you take as much time as you need. Like, I love you. I'm here for you. And how he
Yeah.
treated her, if I was Jury, I'd be like, F you. Like, I'm done. Like, I need
Yeah.
somebody who cares about me and is going to be there for me, not call me over dramatic. Like, that's so
Mhm.
hurtful.
Very.
So I hope for the kids' sake that, you know, it's something positive co-parenting wise, or they come together and they figure it out.
Mhm.
But for Dorit's sake, I think she deserves so much better.
I agree. You know, what was another interesting part of the episode? None of the ladies seemed that shocked by the announcement.
Uh, I know. Like Garcelle throwing shade. I'm like, well, this is obviously Dorit.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
laughing. But then she made a great point. She was like, there's none of us left that have
Right.
husbands.
But like, for example, when Kyle and Mauricio announced their separation,
I know.
everyone was like, cameras had to go back up for it, kind of thing.
Yes.
Like that was very intense. But when Dorit
Mhm.
announced the separation, everyone was like,
Do you think that had something to do with Erica's comment a couple of years back?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
I think it has to do
Interesting.
with the women obviously see a side that we don't see.
Yeah.
The women obviously know stuff that we don't,
Mhm.
which is, by the way, so fine. I don't have an issue with
Yeah.
that. As
No.
long as you entertain me for those 45 minutes that I had TV on, I really don't care. Um, but I think they know something we don't, and they know
Mhm.
that there's a separation. And wasn't it what's his face, the one who's always started, Jeff Lewis,
Oh,
who
yeah.
had made a comment like they live separate lives.
Yeah.
So
It's very evident.
it's known. I think it's known.
Mhm.
Okay, on to more Dorit drama. What do you think
Yes.
about Kyle versus Dorit? Whose side are you on?
Oh, this is the thing. I love Kyle. I have been a Kyle girl since day one. But there's a couple things.
Alright.
One, you cannot now come a season later and say that we're not going to talk about Morgan.
Okay, yeah,
Morgan
fine.
has Morgan has been in the photo. We've said her name. She's filmed. She's obviously signed a contract saying, I'm okay with being filmed. She also did, I think she was in like that. She did like an event last year. She sang, did the whole shebang.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can't come now a year later and say, obviously there was something I'm assuming that went on that Morgan probably said, hey, like, please don't talk about me, or Kyle, whatever. But you can't now do that a year later.
No.
We all want to know the facts as much as Kyle wants to tell us. You're on this show. We need to, you know, I know she's figuring things out, but I do feel like last season we did not get enough information that we all wanted. And I think
Yeah.
Andy was very easy on her. And I think the
Which is
girls are
understandable, by the way.
very understandable. I think whenever you're an OG like that, you have not only massive respect, meaning Andy, but you have a huge relationship. Like
Yeah.
Andy just knows, like, hey, I'm not going to go there with you. I mean, he's like that with Teresa too. A lot of the RHONY ladies. But I think, keep going.
Sorry, I also think it's a delicate topic
I think so
because
too.
marriages are tough, but
Mhm.
also, let's call it what it is. The
Mhm.
elephant in the room is Kyle's sexuality.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wants to push anyone out of the closet.
No. No. And I think it's everybody's journey. I think everybody deserves that, and everyone deserves happiness.
Yeah.
It's like Garcelle said, like, do we want to know? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
does
Not
she
a-
owe us anything? No, she doesn't owe us anything. But going back to your question with
Yeah.
Dorit,
Mhm.
I think with how the reunion went last year, I saw a different side of Kyle of like, whoa, like this is like kind of weird with the messaging. And I think that how I've seen Dorit with her husband, with PK, and just friendship, I think Dorit puts a lot under the carpet. And then like this, like the
Yeah.
producers obviously said, hey, like you need to bring it. Now she's like, we see the real Dorit. And she's very fiery. So right now I'm on Team Dorit. You know what? Like let's take, everything out of the closet. It's kind of like honestly 52%, 48% Dorit. I'm very on the fence because they're both right. And there's a small part of the truth. The only reason why 2% is right now, I'm just loving the fiery Dorit. Of like, yes, like let's bring the drama. But also with Kyle, I'm always gonna have massive respect for her. And I think Dorit right now is very much, I think the anger of her, I think the anger's coming out. And so I think we're not getting the true Dorit's feelings, but I'm very interested in how this conversation goes. But yesterday, I don't know if you saw it with the Bravo Fan Fest, they asked Kyle and Andy, do you think that before the end of the season, you and Dorit will basically like be friends again?
Kyle.
Yeah. And she said yes. And Andy said no. And she was like, I'm hopeful. And so that made me feel like really good because I don't like to see the two of them fight. This is very foreign to me.
I agree with you. I think I have the exact same thoughts as you, that I love Kyle so much. And I think Kyle's a very reasonable person. And I think we tend to know her thoughts. But I think I'm more on Dorit's side in this. I'm like, Kyle, it seems like you're not really, you're having a bit of an ego with this and you're being a little defensive with Dorit, which like, I'm sure Dorit's an annoying friend.
Yeah.
Like
it's hard to be her friend.
But I also think Dorit has valid points. I also think Kyle not messaging Dorit with the separation announcement was weird.
It was very hurtful.
Very, very. And she texted PK. I thought that was weird.
I would be so mad.
Yeah. If
that happened. And last thing, sorry, but I didn't mean to say this. If my friend of 7-8 years, it was just, it's the elephant of the room of just, it was so obvious of they were friends. They went on family trips. For Kyle to say that we weren't that close in her Amazon, whatever, I think anybody would be extremely hurt by that comment.
Agreed.
So that's another reason why I'm kind of like, okay, Kyle, like that was a very hurtful statement. Sorry. I meant to say that.
No, I'm so with you. I also thought in that ending scene between Kyle and Dorit in the sit down they have, Dorit came guns blazing. For sure. She was like, we're about to have it out. And I agree, Kyle being like, wait, like, are we talking or like, are you just mad? But when Kyle goes, you're not even acting like yourself. I don't know what's going on with you. I'm like, Kyle, that's unfair. You know exactly what's going on with her. She's getting separated. It's being announced. She's having to film it. You've been in similar shoes. You understand how someone's emotions can be tainted by what someone else is experiencing and how they maybe project in other situations. Let's relax. We know exactly what's wrong with Dorit right now. We know it's uncharacteristic of her to be so angry and be so aggressive in the situation. And we know it's because of what she's going through. And she's projecting her marital issues onto her friendships. And that's not a bad thing.
No. Yeah. And everybody has a different grief cycle. Some people are more angry. Some people are more sad. Some people, everybody's different. And I think Kyle and Dorit had a different grieving cycle. And we kind of see that of Kyle with this episode of her daughters moving out and Mauricio. That's hard. I think it's a huge right now for Kyle. It's she's grieving in a different way than Dorit. And I think you're right. I mean, obviously she knows what's wrong. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. And and I think Kyle's just not really being empathetic towards this whole situation. And I think she's honestly really shocked that Dorit is coming at her like this. I think she kind of thought it was going to turn out very differently.
Yeah, I thought she thought it was going to be an easy thing to bulldoze over. I don't think it's going to be. And I don't think it should be either.
No.
I think Dorit's entitled to be angry. I think Dorit's entitled to be frustrated. And Dorit is entitled to have an issue with Kyle.
Absolutely.
And it's entertaining.
It's very entertaining. So how did you feel?
I like resolution, though. I do like resolution.
I do, too. I don't like when housewives are divided and it's like, well, I'm not going to invite you here because somebody else is friends with them. I do like whenever they come back together, and I have massive respect for that.
Yes. I like 2 or 3 episodes of feuding, and then I'm like, okay.
Like, let's just make up and keep going with the drama.
Yeah, I got my fix. Can you come back together now?
Exactly.
The Kyle stuff, but we can just like end the Kyle conversation, I think, here. I don't want to get too much into her sexuality.
I agree.
But it is, of course, an important storyline that we're
It's
having
super
right now.
important.
That she's not telling us in black and white,
Mhm.
and I don't think she has to.
No.
But I am very confused. I'm like, wait, what did you tell your daughters? Like,
I'm very
why did your
confused.
daughters say this? Like, is it about your sexuality or is it not about your sexuality?
I just want her to be happy, and I wanna see, like, the real Kyle. Like, I think it's extremely hard if she does feel like she has to put on a persona of, like, well, they've
Yeah.
seen me for, 14 years be this one Kyle, and now I'm transforming to another. I think we're all gonna love Kyle no matter what happens, and everyone deserves happiness, and, like, I think we're both on her, like, biggest cheerleading side.
100%.
Mhm.
Okay, let's talk about bows. What do you think
Oh my
about bows?
gosh. Oh my gosh, okay. So, I have a confession to make. It's a hot one. Okay, I am not the biggest fan of Sutton, but
Okay.
but I'm open
Neither,
to liking her. It's just what?
neither was I.
So whenever she came in, I was like, I don't know, like this is her friend, and I was
Okay.
like, I don't know how I'm gonna like this. I kept an open mind though. With all housewives, I keep an open mind. I absolutely loved her. I
love
think
her.
how real she is, like with Kathy's extensions falling out, and she's like all of us, like sitting there, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, isn't actually happening. And her confections, and she's gorgeous. And I love like this businesswoman. I think it's
Yes.
like exactly kind of like what we need. It's different than all the other housewives. She's so interesting. Like I cannot wait to learn more about her. And I love the realness. And I actually love how her and Dorit bonded. Like that actually made me like really happy when housewives, and especially a new one, they can connect on things like right off the bat. And it's like really just real. It's not like, oh, well, it's kind of like, because I'm rewatching like Teddy and Dory. It was very forced, I felt at first with the kids. But this is very real. Like, and you can kind of tell it. And even in Watch What Happens Live, she was like, we're still friends. I love her. And that's what makes me so happy. So I am so excited to learn more about her, learn kind of like her business and like how she is going to do business and housewives. But I'm here for it. I think she's so real and we need more housewives like her.
She puts the real in Real Housewives. Like, she's no bullshit. I know she'll get into drama. I know she'll be confrontational, but I know she's going to be emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
I know she's not going to hide who she is, and she's really going to bring it. I'm very excited. I hope I'm right. I hope I have a good feeling about her, and
I think so.
that way. But we're going to have to stay tuned.
Did the trailer show like who she gets into it with this season, or have we heard anything?
I think so.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
Any other Beverly Hills thoughts?
I think we hit everything.
Right? There was a lot of Dorit.
It was a lot of Dorit. I'm excited to see Erica this season. Erica's like one of my favorites. I think she is. I really want to see her like in a relationship one day. Like actually like see her go on dates and everything.
Yeah.
But I think other than that, can I ask a separate question?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think of Teddy and like everything going on?
Girl, here's the thing about Teddy Mellencamp.
And you can cut this out, but I've been dying to ask you.
No, let's keep it in. I can't stand the girl. I can't stand her. I can't stand her.
I am so mad at the accountability. And then, like, again, everything's private. Totally get it. We don't know what's going on in the marriage. But the fact that she told his wife, like, oh, is it ever going to happen again? And then the wife is pregnant, having the child, and they're not even there. What type of person do you have to be?
Horrendous.
Like, and I'm sorry, but if that was my friend, I don't know if I could be friends with her. I would be like, I need a break. This is not my friend. So I'm really curious to see like how the friends all come together or what happens, because I don't know if I could be friends with that. That takes a special type of person.
I totally agree with you, but I will say I really don't want to know.
I don't want her back. Like, don't.
If I'm talking about getting her back, I'm like, don't. I don't want to hear about her affair. I don't want to hear about how she's cheating on her.
I don't want to bring her back.
I don't want to hear her say or do anything.
No.
I'm sorry, Teddy Mellencamp. I'm sure you're a lovely person.
No.
Outside of TVs. I don't want you on my screens.
I do not want Teddy back. Teddy needs to stay where she is, and she needs to take all this, whatever comes her way, and just see how accountable she is.
Agreed. Beverly Hills, very happy about. Let's get into Salt Lake.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it.
The first question I had, I know this is not a blur, but Bronwyn or Heather?
Oh my gosh. First of all, because we just talked about it, I love how they came together and saw their respect in the end of like Heather saying, okay, like I'm going to take you for face value. Massive respect. I like that growth. But I just don't think Heather's giving her a chance. I see both sides of like, okay, at first, Bronwyn was playing both sides of the fan. It was very Luann of like very Switzerland, very much, whatever. But I am also on Bronwyn's side of I don't think she's really giving her a chance.
No.
And I don't like how Heather is treating it of this situation. And she lied about her birthday. How did she lie about her birthday?
That's so weird.
Like, so Bronwyn ordered her a ticket. And I don't understand that. Well, okay. And then she lied about the birthday. But I'm loving Bronwyn's effort. So I'm on Bronwyn's side. Because I think she's open to the Heather's friendship. But I also understand Heather being traumatized. And I don't know if I could trust Bronwyn, with how, like, iffy she's been of, like, making fun of Whitney and, like, that whole thing. But also, yeah, I see both sides. But I think I would give Bronwyn a chance.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you?
Agreed. This situation with Bronwyn has made me not be a big fan of Heather's.
I know.
Because I don't think she's handling herself correctly. Like, and I think when we think back to the drama Heather's been involved in, she's never really come up to the bat to play, to swing. Like, she's always kind of been puppy dog, doesn't really fight back, doesn't really ever give back. And I'm like, Bronwyn hasn't done shit to you. Like,
No.
Bronwyn has never done anything to Heather.
No.
She's maybe been a little two-faced about the Whitney thing, which we obviously have seen the footage that she actually did say all that stuff to Whitney's face. And for Heather to be so rude to Bronwyn, the way she behaved at Bronwyn's home, I was like, what is wrong with you?
And can I just say something of her making fun of the Starbucks cups? I do that. And so, I took that so offensively. There's nothing wrong with Starbucks cups. Some people collect them, and there are some very cute designs. But also, what type of friend would sell out your other friend? Meaning Heather sold out Lisa. And Lisa was just like, come on. Like, so what type, if you're really that good of a friend, like, and you're selling out your other friends, no, like, I can't trust you. And the fact that we don't know your birthday, like, that takes another level. It's like, what have you shared on the 4 or 5 years that you've been on the show that's actually been real? Like, I hate to say that, but it's true. People start to think that. And I don't think Bronwyn has done really anything to Heather. I think this is just, Heather just does not like the new girl, and she needs to go over it because I think she had a great episode.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Heather giving the whole like, we're traumatized, we've been through the ringer together. I'm like, no one was murdered, no one has done shit. You guys had a girl with a fake Instagram come on the show,
and everyone's gotten over it, but you.
Yes, it was crazy. But like, your best friend literally went to prison for frauding elderly people. You should be way more traumatized by the fact that you were friends with someone like that than because of some girl ran some troll account.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The troll account was great. Bad. Don't get me wrong. I understood it. I'm with it. But don't act like you've been through the worst of the worst. Like, that's why we're traumatized. That's why we're being mean to Bronwyn.
No.
And not saying hi to her was fucking rude.
That was so mean. I literally died. I was like, that did not happen. But how did you feel about Heather throwing the jabs as soon as the brunch started?
Oh, I loved it.
Including, at that point, I was like, okay, like, we're activating Brittany. I love it.
I loved it. I mean, I think Heather could have waited a little second.
I did too.
Because it was like a little rough, and I don't think it was well done. But But I was like, yeah, you know what? Bring on the drama. The fuck the food. Let's get to it. I'm down.
Because I did get that of like,
Yeah.
it sucks to be discluded because you don't have a significant other. I get the couples trip. I get everything. But I think I'm a big person on, let's just include everyone. Because if I was Heather, or if I was Brittany, I'll say Brittany, because Heather kind of did her own situation. I'd be hurt. I would be super hurt that I was not invited. Oh,
Yeah.
I loved it. But at the end of the day, not saying hi to somebody and you're on the cast, like, that's just so mean.
But by the way, I stand by what Bronwyn said. And Bronwyn was like, I wanted you to come on the trip into my home for us to hash it out because it is my trip. Why would you want to be on my anniversary trip?
Yeah, if you don't like me.
If you don't like me. Now, this is where Bronwyn, I think, is mixed up on how Housewives works. Where it's like, the trip is for your anniversary, but it's for us. Like, it's not for you and Todd. I'm sorry that you think it's not for that.
No, you need to go on a different trip.
But
just the two of y'all.
But it did bring in good drama. So
yeah.
I will say that. So I appreciate Bronwyn for that. But I will say, yeah, it is one of those situations where I don't think, and I think Heather being like, I was so hurt. That was the main issue. I'm like, you guys have been beefing that when you came over to her house, you didn't know why she was inviting you over. You didn't want to talk to her. So then why the fuck would she invite you on a trip?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
No. It doesn't make any sense. I loved it when Bronwyn had been treated so poorly. Like, if we actually think of, like, imagine being at a small lunch where one of the girls does not say hi to you, and then the moment you guys sit down, starts trying to call you out and be a bitch to you. Bronwyn held herself.
Oh, yeah.
Like she was a veteran housewife.
I
wiped the floor with Heather.
Oh, yeah. I loved her outfit. She killed
so cute.
The Audrey Hepburn look. I was literally like, oh my gosh, am I looking at Audrey Hepburn?
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have handled myself. First of all, I would have, like, if you didn't say hi to me, I would take my butt to you and be like, do you have a problem with me? Like, do we need to, like, you didn't even say hi to me. I would be so petty about that. And the fact that she sits down, she sees the Heather's coming for her, and how she handled it, I think was with so much class, and just how she just said, like, just take me for face value. Like, let's just start this over. Veteran housewife. Oh, she took it. She manipulated it to be like, we're going to be classy women about this. And it was very Audrey Hepburn of just class and elegance. And I loved it.
Very.
Mary M. Cosby would be proud.
100%. And she was so good at being emotionally intelligent, but also giving her side. And being like everyone else said everywhere else because of my credit card. Like,
so do you think, based off of the conversation she had with Todd before, do you think that kind of helped her go into this lunch and kind of take a different approach to how she handled the situation?
Probably. What did you think about the conversation with Todd?
Okay. I don't like him.
Okay, tell me more.
I do. I think he's a great husband. Let me get that, like, straight. But he does, for a housewife watcher, he does not like the housewives. He has, for him to say he's never seen Roman act like this in the 10 years together.
Yeah.
He obviously hates her being on the show. He wants her to leave with dignity. What does that mean? Does that mean leave the housewives with dignity or leave conversations with dignity? I started thinking, I was like, what is that code for? What is that code for? Because I feel like she is trying to put a square in a circle. And she's trying to force, not necessarily him to like it, but basically like, this is great. I think I'm going to really fit in with these women. Lisa's my friend. And it's totally different. And so I think what really hurt him is, like you said, I think he really thought that trip was for them. Yeah. And for it not to be, he was like, well, this is not what I signed up for. I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. Where when you're on Housewives, it's like, it's not about you. It's about the women having drama. I think he's a very businessman of like, call it like it is. But I definitely do not think that he wants her to be on Housewives. For him to say also, cowboy up and change. What does that mean? Does that mean change with the women, make them more positive? Does that mean change, like bring back the old Bronwyn? So I was very much like, who is this Todd? And is Bronwyn different? Are we seeing is Bronwyn different with Todd than the real Bronwyn? I started thinking about all these things. So what do you think of Todd?
Okay. I like Todd.
Yeah, he's cute.
Todd is not a good house husband.
No.
But I'm excited to see how he does season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bronwyn has said somewhere on social media or somewhere on something saying like Todd loves it. Like Todd was saying XYZ, Todd was saying, I think he's watching it back, maybe experiencing certain things. Like, I don't know.
I think you're right. I think
I'm
he's probably seeing it differently.
Yeah. I'm ready to see her at the reunion and kind of address it because obviously it's going to be something that gets brought up. And I'm excited to see whether he kind of like he's the one that needs to cowboy up and realize where he's like fucking, he's a fucking Real Housewives. And you're going to go on a trip and if people are going to yell, that's what we do.
I will say this though. I would rather have a Todd any day than a Justin Rose when you're too involved in women's stuff. I would much rather have a Todd because I don't like when the guys get that involved. And like for him to bring Jared Osman and he was stirring the pot in the background. It was so, and like his grin, it was like, messy. I did it. So messy, but you just need a mix between those two.
He's married to Whitney. So like, you know, it wasn't gonna happen. But no, I think Todd's a responsible man. He's just not a good house husband. And it's frustrating, I think, as viewers. Where we're like, because it feels like a man is talking to us. And we're like, don't get involved in our business. Like, let's yell at each other. These are hot for housewives.
Let her yell.
We're taking it personally as an audience. Of like, you don't speak to us by the way. Like, we need her to do what she was doing. Like,
because she's killing it.
She's killing it. She's really killing it. And then, okay, what did you think of the Angie K versus Meredith? Whose side?
First of all, can I please fix Meredith's bangs? Like, those bangs are so bad. Bronwyn calling them octopus bangs. I absolutely loved that. I think she is hilarious. This feud is just frustrating because I feel like it's been a constant thing of these two just cannot get along. They always find something, whatever. Do I think that Sean brought up Mark's Brooks and basically was like, this is your storyline? I don't like that. Like, you know what? That's her son. That's his sexuality. Like, I don't think any mom would use that. Yeah. But also, I think Meredith just kind of let stuff go. And this is just too much. Like, and I also don't like how she just gets up and leaves. I think you need to
agree.
Like, again, it's very much in the Vanderpump of if you don't like something, you get up and you leave. And she was storming out bowling. Let's just sit down. I'm on Angie's side, I think, at the end of the day. I think this is just too much. Meredith just needs to sit down. I think Meredith, the problem with her is she doesn't want to hear anything unless it's like, you know, Meredith is great. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you did nothing wrong. I think they're both at fault for things. I think Angie is trying to see her side, you know, make her feel better, move on. And I don't think Meredith wants to move on. I think Meredith has this it's a dog with a bone. But at the end of the day, I think I'm on Angie's side. I think Angie's just how she's handling it. And I love Angie. I think Angie's having an amazing season. Oh my gosh.
Angie's killing it. Angie's really killing it. I'm so impressed by her.
And the moment with her dad, I just loved.
I was about to say, her dad brings such a light to the show and those scenes. And it's heartfelt, and you can see the love. You can see how lovely he is, and I love watching them. Big fan.
Oh yeah, big fan. But whose side are you on? How do you feel about the two?
I would say it's very similar to you. I would say to summarize my thoughts on it is I'm on Meredith's side in the sense that I do think Angie K's husband misstepped.
100%.
In the sense that I do think he owes her an apology. And I think I understand maybe what he was saying. I don't think it's appropriate to say it on a podcast, regardless whether you think it. You don't have to say it.
Keep it to yourself.
When it involves someone's kid and their sexuality. And then, but I think in the way they're handling it, I'm on Angie K's side.
Yeah.
So I think
they both have to see that. I think if Sean can apologize for what he said and take ownership, I think we can move on. And I think there's somewhat of a respect between the two. I think they both can have fun together.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. Any other Salt Lake thoughts before we move on to OC?
Brittany. Can we talk to Ella about Brittany?
Oh my God, of course we have to talk about Brittany.
I saw a meme today calling her Sheena Shea, and I absolutely died. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. for Brittany to be a friend. And I was like,
I know.
I was almost like embarrassed. I was like, honey, do you not know that like you're a friend? Like you're not like necessarily a housewife. But for Mary to be like, I just wanted this girl to know I'm not poor. And then
So
throwing it,
funny.
oh my gosh, I just love Mary so much. I
Mary's
do.
great.
But for her to just be so hurt that she did not get invited, and it was just not about her.
I know.
I loved it. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
It was
okay,
entertaining. I find her very entertaining.
I
And,
want
like,
to
the
see her on Watch What Happens Live because her with Andy, I think that's going to like answer all my questions if she's coming back next year or not.
Wait, that would be amazing. I think Andy would like her. Wait, can I talk about Jared Osmond sliding into Mary's DMs?
Oh my gosh, her saying, I do not need that soap opera. I died. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just too much.
Insane. Ready to rumble? Ready
I'm
for
all
OC?
ready. Yes, I'm so ready.
Let's do it. Okay, let's make this one short. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
I
give
agree.
some of my
There's not
thoughts
much to
on
talk about.
Shannon versus Alexis. Alexis sucks. We're all in agreement there. We got information that Emily is the one who brought Alexis on the show. Am I correct about that? Did you notice that?
I did not.
Tamara, at one point in the reunion, when Emily was bitching, being like, how are you friends with this girl? She's horrible, blah, blah, blah. And Tamara goes, you were friends with her. You're the one that brought her on the show. And she goes, yeah, I regret that. That was interesting. That's not talked about enough. But I don't know if I'm making that up either. So
No, I don't think you are.
I'm going to have to clip this and see if anyone watching has an answer to it because I'm intrigued by that.
If that is the case, I need to like know, why did she bring her on? Was it to like mess with Shannon? Was it to be a pot stirrer? Was it for ratings? Like, what was it for?
I don't know. Well, there's only one way to find out. Also,
But
I died when Andy was saying like that was wild after the Alexis and Shannon stuff. He
oh
was
yeah,
even like, that was insane.
that was too much. I think I'm just so tired.
Me
That
too.
sounds
And I'm
bad.
tired about Johnny J too.
I'm so tired about
I
Johnny
wanna give
J.
it air
Do you
time.
bring Alexis back next season?
No. Are
I don't
you?
either.
No.
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 How did you feel about Tamara?
It's the same shit. It's the same shit. I want to see something new. I want to see Tamara not be Tamara. Like be
She was
something
just so
different.
mean.
So
Like so mean.
did you buy the hug?
No, I did not. I think it was because she knew she was getting so much hate. Shannon was like the MVP of that season.
Yeah.
And she was like, I need to be her friend
Yeah.
because I need to strategically get myself out of this hole. So
Agreed.
then next season, who do you bring back? What do you do with the cast? And who do you bring in?
Oh, no, I don't know if I can handle this type of pressure.
You can do.
I keep Katie.
Yeah.
I don't think she's accountable. I don't think she's credible. But I keep
No.
her because it's entertaining. I keep Heather Dubrow.
Mhm.
I keep Shannon. I keep Emily. I keep Gina.
Mhm.
I keep Shannon. I said that.
Mhm.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
And you know what? Tamara gets one more season. I said it.
Do you bring anybody new in or anybody
No.
from the past in?
I think it's
so,
too
too.
perfect right now.
I do too.
I
I think we need to
perfect.
see more of this cast.
Yeah. And I think we need a season that isn't all about Shannon. Not that I don't love
agree.
seeing Shannon.
She
but
just needs a
obviously there was
break.
there was stuff to discuss, but I think in order to make any casting decisions, I think I need to see what's actually going on between the women and what conflict they aren't having and whether they can rise to the top or whether they drown. And I think because everything was about Shannon, it's hard to see everyone else individually. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How did you feel Tamara and Heather holding that information for like the 7 months?
Okay, well, let's go there. What the fuck? What was that ending scene? What was that?
You know what? I think it was. I think it was again, because I love Heather. Heather's one of my top housewives. But I'm always gonna be honest I think Heather freaked out and she was like, you know what? This is not looking good for me.
Yeah.
And Tamara said the same thing. Not looking good for me. I think we need to tell Shannon what's going on. I think they did that to save their butts.
Yeah.
And I do think especially Heather, because I think Heather has more empathy towards Shannon than Tamara does.
100%.
But I think Heather was like, because I think Tamara was kind of like, she was like, Heather would call me and be like, what do we do with this information? Like, this is bad. If that were me, that would weigh on me all the time. But also cameras were up. It was convenient. It was, I have to make myself look good. Like, I don't want this to come out the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I think they did that to save their butt, and Tamara needed it because everybody was like, fire her. like
Yeah.
do a Dorinda, put her on pause.
Mhm.
And I think she needs to save her bet because I think Tamara has been in the past a great housewife.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair that, Vicky's gone and Vicky was much, kind of like this, a very entitled, very, this is my show. And I think Tamara's starting to do the same thing. And I don't like that.
Okay.
I think Tamara's noticing like her job's on the line. And I think this was
Well,
just convenient for the two of them.
can we talk about Andy's comment at the end of the reunion?
What does
Andy
that
saying,
mean?
the audience is shitting on you. You need to act right. You need to not go in on her. Like, you're being too rough. You need to be better. Because Andy wants Tamara on the show. They obviously have a relationship, which is super understandable. If I was in Andy's position, I would think the same.
Yeah.
But, like, that was all saving face.
Oh, yeah. I think he just said, like, hey, we need you on the show. Like, fix it. Do whatever you can to fix it. I think after that scene, I was like, the hug did not mean anything. The hug was like, again, like, I missed you so much. And her crying, I was like, okay.
Bullshit.
Like,
No,
Heather fake crying, like, this is fake crying.
And then you also had the comments about being on the spectrum. So that was all after that. Which one of my friends DM'd me being like, do you think they brought up Tamara getting the therapy dates wrong because they wanted to save face on the autism comments? And I'm like, there's something about me that doesn't think Emily or Gina would not be willing to bring that up. Especially Emily. Gina, maybe. Emily, no. I don't
No, I agree. And I think this is such a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to trust Tamara with what she's telling us because I don't think anybody would lie about these things. But I do think, like you said, for the, like, oh, well, she is going, like, to hold her accountable. Well, she is doing her self-work. And she did pick up a non-alcoholic drink. I did notice that.
Yeah.
I just think this whole thing is weird. I am going to say that. I think I don't think we're getting the full story. And I'm the end of this season, I was just like, I don't like this. I think the finale was great. I think Emily and Gina cracked me up. I was like, this is amazing. I love this. But with just how mean it just got, very mean girl behavior with Shannon, I just didn't like it. And I think we need another season. Take Alexis out. I don't think we need to hear Johnny J anymore. I'm so tired of that. We need to see how Shannon is doing after all this mess and after the settlement dropped. We just need to be done and to see like how Shannon is actually doing, being a single mom and her kids are out and everything like that.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm with you. Any other OC thought?
No. I think just excited for next season.
Me too. Ready for Potomac?
Yes.
Okay. How do you think Karen is handling the DUI?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love Karen. Karen can do no wrong, but she obviously did. She did do wrong.
Yeah, she did do wrong.
But I get it that you can't talk about certain types of things, with them being court dates. I think she's really asking the Lord for some grace here. She's trusting the process. But I do think she feels some hurt of it. Like, she's embarrassed. She's like, I can't believe I did this. I think the women want to understand how she's doing, but I really haven't seen Karen break down yet of like, just how Shannon is versus Karen. I don't think we've really seen that yet. And so no, I think Karen is so like, I don't know the words. Professional. Like, she can't see anybody crack her. I think the women are all waiting, like, especially me, are waiting for her to be cracked. But with how Karen is treating like the Mia situation of turning it around, I think there's a lot of anger pimped up in Karen with this DUI. I think we're kind of seeing that come out now. How do you think she's handling?
I think she's handling it the best way she can.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Very
I know the
professional.
women want her to take accountability. I know the women want all these things. I'm like, you guys don't understand the legal system. I'm like, that's not to her benefit. And
It's serious.
I would also be like, don't say shit, girl. Like, there's no need to bring it up. I don't think she should show us emotion.
No.
Honestly. I don't think. But do you know what ended up happening with her case?
I feel like it's still going on. I don't know. Because it's like, we really haven't seen anything. But I do think tonight's episode, Sunday's episode, she goes to court.
Yeah. Next
So,
week.
I
Or
think we're
tonight.
gonna get, I think we're gonna get more information about that. But nothing has come out about it, actually, which is weird. Like, 'cause I feel like I was just about to ask you, have you heard anything? But I
I
haven't,
don't think I know anything.
which is weird because has happened like almost, I don't know, 8 months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. Question with the Mia Karen stuff. Do you think, even though Mia denied it, do you think Mia was coming for Karen?
100% she was coming for Karen. Are you
Right?
kidding me? I think Mia wants like the grand dame to fall and like her to be
Yeah.
like, she is human. Like, I think she's coming for, Karen. Not necessarily she's coming for Karen's position of grand dame, because I think Mia has such different style and different personality than Karen. But I definitely think that I literally have my notes. Mia is coming for Karen, and it's like her with the opioid addiction. I love Karen's apology. Karen had a really good apology this episode of ownership of, hey, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. But I think if you're coming for somebody as harsh as Mia did with how she did, you have to fight back of, okay, like if you're going to call me out on this, like you publicly said this, that, you owned up to the opioid addiction. I'm proud of Mia for her growth. I will say that. She definitely was coming for Karen. Are you kidding me? I think a lot of women right now are coming after Karen for this.
Yeah. Agreed. What do you think of the Mia and Gordon ink situation?
Okay, first of all, I was like very confused at first because I was like, with the kids, I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? And it was Ink. And I was like, oh, this is weird. I thought it was Gordon. And I actually feel bad for him. I feel bad for Gordon. And he's mad. And I think rightfully so. I thought it was interesting that Gordon does not want to film with Ink. Thought that was very interesting.
As they're filming together.
I know, as they're filming, the irony. And this was interesting. I don't know how we're just now finding out about this versus last season or the reunion, but I don't know if Gordon was in the reunion. But he said that Ink had an affair after they got married. And she had to have, and he had no clue about it. And I'm like, this is so messed up.
So bad.
So messed up. And Gordon just wants confirmation. And he broke the fourth wall, and I'm here for it. I love it. I loved it. And Mia making excuses. I think Mia is just, I think she's trying to be protective of Ink, and she's like, oh crap, like she wasn't ever supposed to know this happened.
Yeah.
But I feel so bad. I think Mia is trying to play both sides of the fence of like, this is my kid's father, but also like, I'm with this guy. It's just so messy. And I feel so bad for Gordon. I don't think Mia's really like thinking about his feelings.
No, I also think Mia's selling her soul and her family for the show.
And
I
like,
don't need to know any of this. By the way, do I
how
selling it? Sure.
But
no.
This boy is gonna be older one day, and he's gonna know all this. Yeah, and even if he doesn't know, he can search his name, and I'm sure things will come up about him. But any kid should have a life of their own and be able to write their own story with it. And I hate that this narrative is being written about him without him even knowing. And he's like, how old is he? Like 7, 9?
And it's going to get worse too, by the way.
Only going to get worse. And I don't think we, the nation, needed to know about the paternity test. That was just, I think the women know that. And the women are like, this is so messed up. I think they brought it like the first episode.
Yeah, they did, which I understood.
Yeah, 100%.
So going on to like a completely other relationship, which is like the polar opposite of Mia and Ink's and Gordon's. Stacey and TJ.
She reminds me of a Disney princess. Oh my gosh. I love her so much. I think she is such a great, she's like so different than any of the new housewives we had.
Yeah, very.
TJ is weird.
TJ is so weird.
I feel like I'm actually like, I'm hiding watching the scenes between them because I'm like, this is so awkward. Like, does anybody else feel this way? Oh, please put her on The Bachelorette. I would love to see her on The Bachelorette. I think
so awkward. I would love it.
I would love to see her. If she's happy with him, great. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
but I don't think she's like fully happy. I just think she needs to be on The Bachelorette and find somebody making fun of. He made fun of a God joke, and Stacey was like not having it. And
What happened?
I think he made fun of a God joke. There was something that he said, and it was, I think it was the scene between them and the painting, and Stacey was not having it. Stacey was,
Really?
yeah, it was like very like religious, and Stacey, it was kind of like a very irony statement. I think Stacey was like
Well,
so not having it,
I missed that.
but her flirting with him and like him not even getting it, I was like, I don't know if I could do that.
No, I was so uncomfortable.
And like Ashley is like so interested and like so
Yeah, I love it.
disinterested. Oh my gosh. How do you think that they're gonna last?
Well, they're still together,
I know.
so that says something.
I have to ask a question because I'm not understanding something. With him on Watch What Happens Live and his chest like glistening, what does that mean? Does that mean like he wasn't being conservative of like the religious self that he is? Well, I didn't understand.
Ooh, I think people are questioning his sexuality.
No way.
I think people think
Oh, I
something
thought so. No.
may not be straight, and
Oh my gosh, poor Stacy.
it might be an issue of that rather than that's what my understanding is. I could be
But you're
wrong.
so right. Oh my gosh, she brought the light. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's what people are saying, which I don't know if it's true or not.
No, but I
But the
can
women
see
who have
that.
met him are saying that, and I'm intrigued to see what happens in this next episode. I know they have a bit of a tiff,
Yeah.
so I want to know more of the relationship.
I just want to see Stacy happy. I love her. I think she needs a second season already.
Okay.
I'm excited
Any
to see
other
her play out.
any other Potomac thoughts?
I think you hit everything.
Okay, great. Let's finish up with RHONY. Now, this does not deserve more than 5 minutes of our time.
Yeah.
So if you're not interested in finishing this episode, I don't blame you
No.
because fuck RHONY. What we discussed before we started recording the podcast was that there are definitely, although the prank is we can all agree is fucked up and stupid on really truly every level, it is bringing up some interesting aspects that I had originally thought when I watched it, and I said this on the podcast, I feel like Aaron brought Brynn into the prank because Brynn was acting hella messy, being like, I was calling people and I heard XYZ and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it feels, if this is a prank, it feels overdone.
Yeah.
So I thought Brynn must have been brought in. And then Aaron's being like, Brynn wasn't brought in. But then Brynn is like, I was brought in. And Uva was like, literally, Brynn told me it's a prank. So obviously, Aaron is the one that's lying. Now, those are the details of the prank. No one really cares about the details. What we care about is how it's bringing up very interesting dynamics of the women self-producing each other, trying to call each other out, trying to use fake drama to see who they can and can't trust. And that's not the way housewives work. You have to find out the hard way.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game, baby.
And I have in here, like we were talking about before, trying to figure out like who are the leaky pigeons.
Yeah.
And I think at like this, like there's been 100 seasons of Housewives. Like that's the name of the game of like, who's the pot stir? Who can I trust? Who can I not trust? Who's a good friend? Who's not a good friend? But it's just not cool. And it's not very housewife material to do that. And it's very much like taking apart what the best qualities of housewives are. And I think Erin saying she has a secret on everybody and announcing that for the Globe to know, if that was my friend,
Why?
I would be so mad. I agree with Uba. It's not cool. But I also agree with Brynn. Brynn made a very good statement. Do not test friendships like that.
Yeah.
That is something that she said that publicly. And it's like, I would not trust you anymore.
No. I really think Aaron saying that twice is manipulative.
It's so manipulative.
Yeah, it's I have something over you and I don't share it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's cool. But I also like think the women are, which is correct, which is going to be interesting to see this episode, should be questioning Aaron on it. I think Raquel is the one who I'm listening to the most on their take on things.
I'm loving her. Yeah.
I'm loving Mel. Her and Mel.
I am loving her. She needs an apple. Like, I want to know more about Mel.
100%. Every time they're on my screen, I'm like,
And Mel's
Freezing
back.
it. Yeah, I'm like,
I
love
just
this.
love her. Like, they're such a good couple. They're like one of my
There's
favorite couples right now.
100%. I'm obsessed with them two together. Also, Puerto Rican power. I'm here for it. I love watching on my screen.
Absolutely. They're so
But
cute.
Raquel's take on things is, I think it's really the audience take on things of like, this is really fucked up. I don't want to be involved on it. I think a pregnancy prank is gross.
There
And
is. She's not
obviously,
reading
I
the
can't.
room.
Yeah. And then originally, she's like, I obviously can't trust Bryn. And I think that's what we were all thinking. Like, obviously, Bryn is crazy. And then being like, wait, I can't trust Aaron. Like,
Yeah.
what
It's
weird.
again, I think Sai hit the nail on the head saying she's not reading the room. It's baby privilege. You have
Yeah.
women that have different pregnancy journeys that want to be pregnant one day.
Yeah.
And I think that was just really insensitive. And I just don't like that. I think, again, we were talking about, but out of all like my years of watching Housewives, and Bravo made such a big story. It's like, that's what that was. And I did not like that. That made me honestly like not want to watch for a little bit.
Yeah.
It had a bad taste in my mouth. But I think I'm trusting, I agree with you. I think Raquel's bringing a lot of the realness that we all need, because it's always nice to have a housewife that we're like, yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It brings just normalcy in. I think we needed that.
Agreed. I saw Aaron say on the Bravo Fan Fest, I had nothing to do with the prank. I just like repeated it. Like Rebecca's the one who kept bringing it up, and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm like, "That's not having anything to do with the prank. You're the one that like gave it to everyone. What do you mean you had nothing to do with the prank? You are the reason it made it onto the show. Because without you,
She did
the
not
prank
say
would have
that.
gone." Yeah, she did say that. She
Do you
did.
think it's because she got a ton of heat?
Yeah, because Aaron's not meant to be a housewife.
No,
I like Aaron. Don't get
I
me
like
wrong.
Aaron
I like
too.
her.
But I think there needs to be a change next season. I don't know what it is. I would love to see some of the old women return, keep some of the new girls. But I don't think Aaron, I love her, but
no,
she
I
doesn't need
like
to come
her,
back.
but she's not a housewife.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's like enough of my RHONY for me. I'm over them. They make me angry.
They
Any
make me
other
angry.
points you want to discuss though?
I loved Bren with Gideon. That made me very happy to see her growing up. It was very weird.
Also very confused.
I was very confused. I was watching it, like half watching it. That's what I'm doing right now with RHONY. And then whenever I heard her like ask him, I was like, hold on a second, what?
I'm like,
it was really weird.
And I get it. I understand the concept that she's going for. It's not that I judge it or like
No.
her, like do your thing. But
I love her, yeah.
Producers are not doing a good enough job of showing us why they aren't engaged. I don't understand that. I need someone to ask her directly. You want to have babies with this man. You would like
but you're not together.
But you don't want to be romantically involved. Explain to us why. Explain to us why. I just want a reason why. She can easily tell us it's because the sex wasn't that good. And I love him as a person, but the romance wasn't there and I would take it.
Yeah.
What she said, I think we're just better as best friends and I think we could be a family.
Totally get it. But I need to see like more color in this.
For sure.
Yeah.
But like the lack of details is a problem.
It's a problem. So what do you do in closing next season?
Oh, fuck, girl. I don't fucking know. I think we have to see the season play out because there's obviously something that happens.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Big drama that's going to happen in Puerto Rico. And I don't know if it's still about self-reducing, if it's still about stupid bullshit. Well, but I don't think belongs on the show.
I think she's over it. And I'm always thinking back to what she said last season. Oh, she was so mad that she didn't know that they were filming. And it's like her with the pigeons this year. It's like, do you not understand what housewives are? Yeah, it's like this, you're not coming on the show for rainbows and, butterflies, flowers and all that. You're coming on to not be self-produced, just be your real authentic self and to just get a group of women together and see what happens. Go on trips, kiki, be fun, be friends, move on. But I think that she is hiding. I don't necessarily hiding, but she doesn't want to show all of her life. And that's fine. You don't have to, but then don't come on the show.
Agreed. Especially not when we're doing a reboot and we need delusional women.
Yeah.
So I think Uba is the only one that I'm like 100% doesn't belong on the show.
100%.
The other ones I'm letting them show.
Absolutely.
What do you think? What's your take?
I love Jessel. I'm just, oh my gosh. I love her to death.
Upset.
Rin, I feel like you need in the sense of she is so messy. I think she needs to dial it down a little bit.
Yeah.
If she watches herself, I think she's going to realize, okay, like I need to be a little bit more mature. I need to be, I think she will. I'm going to give her some faith in that. I think Raquel needs another season. But I'm really big on right now. I need some original OG RHONY women in. And I miss them. I think we need to see a mix. I think everybody would be happy. I think these women are great. Don't get me wrong. But do I think that they're housewife material, all of them? No. But I think definitely keeping Jessel, like Kelly's another season. I just need to see more of these women. And it's like, I don't want to judge too hard. Andy's really big on right now letting us finish the season. So I'll do whatever Andy says. But I'm sad because I always loved RHONY. And this is just not
what we
where it
thought.
needs to be.
No. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This was such a fun episode. There was so much to discuss in such little time. But we did it. We did it. We did it.
We did it. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having me back. I love seeing you and talking with all of you. And hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. If anybody's in the U.S., I know like you're from the U.S., so I'm going to say happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoys their Thanksgiving week. I guess everything will be showing as per usual, right?
Yeah, I don't think anything's paused this week.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once again for coming on. You're welcome back whenever your little heart desires. I love having you on. You're just a little light. I'm obsessed.
Oh, thank you.
The sweetest. And yeah, thank you all so much for listening. That was this week's episode of That's My Opinion Pod, and I'll see you next week.